Hey y'all, back with another vid. Good morning. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sharifa, and my poetry name is New Lily. If you're new, please check out the links in the comment section and the description box. I include an identical set of links in both locations that link to videos that share information about the targeted individual program, technology utilized on targets, tactics utilized on targets, information from doctors, etc. Please always check out those areas, y'all, if you're new, because those areas always include important links with information, as I said, and pertinent information at that for targeted individuals. Also, at the top of all of those links, you can find different video options that talk about what started my targeting in 2020. There are 3 different options. You can check out my full story, my commentating over a clip video, or my summary video. Out of the 3, obviously I'd recommend the full story. But if you don't have the time to watch it, because it is a long video, it's a 7-part, 12-hour video compilation. If you don't have the time or patience to watch the full story, which is not meant to be watched in one sitting, by the way, y'all. It's meant to be watched in bits and pieces, so you can take your time and watch it. It's an interesting story. But if you don't have the time at the moment, I completely understand. I'd recommend you watch the commentating over a clip video rather than a summary video because it's more up to date and a little bit more detailed. And they're about the same length, the summary video and the commentating over a clip video. You can also check out my part 1, which is underneath those 3 links. My part 1, gaslighting and programming of the targeted individual video. And in that video, I give details about what happened to me when I tried to relocate off of the island where my targeting started in 2022. So 2 years after being targeted. I resigned from my jobs, my teaching job, my security job, and I saved up some money, tried to relocate. The thing followed me. I didn't know I was a target. The thing followed me. It went viral because I had some egregious reactions to some of the things that happened when I left. And those reactions led to my targeting going viral and worsening. So when I got back to Island, things had worsened. I started dealing with neuromonitoring. They microchipped me without my consent. Because I was saying my story. The new neighbor drove by right as I was saying my story. I don't think that's a coincidence. I really don't. But anyways, and that's interesting too, because it's so awkward what I have to talk about. This is dream manipulation I'm about to talk about, y'all. I told y'all that those of you that have been subscribed, I told y'all about how they do dream manipulation. That's one of the things they can do when they microchip you and they're neuromonitoring you. And neuromonitoring means that they're just, messing with you via the technology. Once they microchip you and they insert the nanobots via the insect drones, and all of this information can be found in the links in the description box and comment section, y'all. That's why I said check it out. Once they get you there and they have you microchipped, they do what's called brain to computer interface. And so basically from a computer screen, they can mess with your mental because they're hooked up to your brain system. The RFID chip and the nanobots are microscopic, and they can cross the blood-brain barrier and hook up to your neurons. And so from there, this is how high science this thing is. Yeah, we're in some scary times, and it's dystopian too, because there's no due process. They can literally insert this technology into you without your consent because they're doing it via these insect drones. So really, you have no protection as long as you're here on Earth. They can easily just use these insect drones to insert the thing in you. You don't even have to go to a doctor. Even if you avoid going to the doctor because you're afraid they're going to microchip you or whatever, it's so advanced now that all they have to do is use an insect drone, a drone that looks like a mosquito, and insert the technology in you. It's really crazy. Anyway, so it's called brain to computer interface. Talked about this in many of my prior videos, y'all. And from a computer screen, they can do a lot to you. They can control your thoughts. They can push thoughts into your head, dream manipulation, send you vivid dreams, interact with you in the dreams. Just a lot of stuff, y'all. A lot of gnarly, scary stuff, And so this is what I've been dealing with since I've come back to Island at the end of 2022. That was when they started to use those type of tactics on me. Before leaving, I was just dealing with, and not just because that was invasive too. That's the whole reason I tried to leave. I was miserable then too. And so this is why it's so unfair that the thing followed me, no due process, didn't commit a crime, y'all. I literally just sent a text message and pissed people off. That's what happened. And so they took this thing and they followed me with it, right? This creepy program. So much has happened here on island. I don't mean to keep saying that. So many things where people have been suspected of crimes and really like more so implicated than me that didn't go through what I'm going through, or who have actually really committed crimes that are not going through what I'm going through. It's just a me thing. I'm telling you, it's very weird. Anyway, so the stupid thing followed me. And I know I didn't commit a crime, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, why the hell are they taking this thing so far? I felt like they were just trying to be spiteful because I sent the text message and bared quote unquote false witness. And not intentionally either. If you listen to my story, y'all will hear about the text message and you can tell I didn't do it maliciously. And I didn't even straight up accuse through the text. You have to listen to my story to know what I'm talking about. I didn't straight up accuse the people in my close circle either. It was more of an insinuation and a question, and you can tell it was PTSD from what I had been dealing with in the Airbnb I was staying in right before coming home. So for things to go as far as it did, and now to the point where I'm microchipped and they're, sending me weird dreams and everything else that's going on, it's just too much and it's overdue. It's ridiculous. Anyway, y'all, so that's what started happening. So if you check out the part 1, gaslighting and programming of the targeted individual video, that's under the links, the video links that tell how I got targeted in the first place. You'll hear the details of what happened to me when I tried to relocate, why I said the offensive things I said, some of the things I encountered in Indiana. I don't stand by the things I said. I've said that a million times. I've apologized a million times. It's just like they don't know forgiveness. A lot of people don't really believe in the Bible either. So it's not like I'm trying to push that on people. Everybody has their own belief system and stuff. But if you're not somebody that believes in the Bible, then, maybe you don't know forgiveness. Maybe you don't know grace. Maybe that doesn't exist in your world or your reality. And so that's what it is. So a lot of them don't know forgiveness, and it's not even like they're trying to be understanding about the fact that I was under duress. I was going through a very traumatic experience as being stalked ruthlessly, and I didn't do anything. And I reacted in kind, and I said some really egregious stuff. I shared some offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda. And that was what led to the targeting getting this bad. So check out that video as well, y'all, if you want to hear the details about, what led to the targeting getting so bad. But all the negative things or offensive things I said, these were all reactions to what happened to me when I tried to relocate. Anyway, y'all, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent. Let me continue with what's going on here, though. So anyways, that's what I've been dealing with now since I've gotten back. All of last year, that's what I was dealing with. I was dealing with neuromonitoring, for about 2 months at the beginning of last year. I strongly suspect I was dealing with radiation energy weapon attacks. I explained that in my stories, y'all. I talked about it. They even were hinting to me via their shadow networking AI software. You know how they hack. Talked about this in several videos, y'all. Also, another video in the description box that talks about this technology is my pertinent information about the targeted individual program video. That's in the description box. But also, I've posted recent videos, a part 1, a part 2, a part 3, example of shadow networking software utilized on targets, where I showed you examples of what it looks like when they're using this software on me for the part 1 and the part 2 video. And then the part 3 video, I was showing y'all an example of them using it on another target. But they use their shadow networking software to hack up all your technological devices and send you things with subliminal messaging. They play on, for instance, me, I like to play pool. I told you guys I haven't played in a while. I don't do that anymore because they hack everything. But they hack up my pool game. They like to play against me on pool with avatars to sensitize me. So for instance, I told y'all already, one of the things they like to sensitize me to is stealing because of something I said about my roommate in my full story. So they'll play against me with an avatar that says thief or a picture of a burglar. That's just an example of how they use the software. Or on YouTube, in my recommended, they'll send me videos with subliminal messaging. It will look like it's fitting the algorithm. So they'll send me videos related to things I like to watch. For instance, Married to Medicine or Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not always. Sometimes it's just random ass videos with sensitization in it. They didn't even try to make it fit the algorithm. But oftentimes they'll fit the algorithm of what I watch. And so although it will be videos like that, like shows that resemble the type of shows I like to watch, or actual clips from the type of shows I like to watch, the videos will be ladled with stimuli to sensitize me. Things about stealing, things about race, because remember, again, I shared offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda in my vehicle in Florida before I ended up coming back to Island. Just a bunch of stuff, y'all. They just constantly programming my brain all day long, mocking me via the shadow networking software. Check out my part 3 example of shadow networking software utilized on targets, where I showed y'all how they were mocking another target with the technology. They do it to me too. They do it to all targets. It's a mocking humiliation smear campaign that takes place when you're targeted, especially to the level that I'm targeted now because of what happened when I tried to relocate and was illegally, covertly harassed, stalked, etc. Anyway, y'all, so that's what's going on. They're constantly just messing with me with their technology, and then they also do dream manipulation. I have 3 different videos where I documented dream manipulation. I have a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3. And this is now part 4 because they sent me another weird dream last night. And of course, prior to it happening, there were weird things happening, as usual. Usually before they send me a weird dream, they start to mess with me beforehand. And this is what happened last night, and I want to document it. Well, technically this morning, because it was the wee hours of the morning. Last night or this morning was my one night off. Remember I told you I do security every night except Monday night. So last night / this morning, I was off. I was, trying to rest. It was the wee hours of the morning, like, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, around that time when this happened, what they did. So I wanted to document y'all and show y'all what's going on. Documentation again, and another example of how they use the technology to harass you when you're targeted. Not going to be a long video, y'all. I don't really want to talk about it because the dream contained, I don't want to use this word because that's also stimuli for me to like to throw at me, but the dream contains touchy or sensitive subject matter. I try to avoid race topics like the plague, y'all. I really be trying to avoid anything to do with race. I'm so traumatized. I really do. I run from the thing. But with the dream they sent me last night, I do want to document what they sent me, what I suspect they sent me. I went off on a tangent, y'all. I was telling y'all what started happening to me last night with last year with the energy weapon attacks. I was telling y'all that they were using their shadow networking software to hint to me that that's what was going on, that they were hitting me with energy weapons, radiation and stuff. And then I went off on a tangent giving y'all details about the shadow networking software. Even though I've talked about it in several videos. So if you're somebody that's not new to my channel, you've heard me talk about it. You've seen the videos I'm talking about. This is just for anyone new, because I know that sometimes targets might stumble across a video for me, and that will be the first video for me that they see. And so I like to make sure in the beginning of these videos that I'm very detailed with the things I'm saying so that they know where to go to be caught up to date with what I'm talking about in my newer videos. Anyways, y'all, so this is also why I suspect I was hit with energy weapons. Not only were they hinting it to me last year, for about 2 months, by the way, y'all. Last year, at the beginning of last year, and that's what led to me losing the weight, the black rings around my eyes. I got this weird acne rash thingy on my back. It's not a rash. It's more so like what it looks like is like I had a bad breakout, and I have a bunch of acne scars back there. But I'm just like, what the hell? I've never had acne back there before. I've had like 1 or 2 pimples back there. You would think it was genetic because my mother has that. She has like acne all over her back and her face. This is where I got my oily skin from, the acne. It's genetic, right? But I've never been the kind to have it on my back. I might get like a pimple or 2, but really it's my face that I've always had acne on. And over the years, I've eaten healthier and I've controlled the problem. Like literally only a pimple or 2 on my face. The way my back looks is ridiculous. And it started happening last year when I was dealing with neuromonitoring, what I suspect to have been energy weapon attacks. They were telling me via their shadow networking software what they were doing with the radiation for 2 months. I was feeling the effects of it. I told y'all I felt that cooking, burning sensation. I was losing weight. I had black rings around my eyes, all of that. That's partially why I'm so into the working out that I'm into now. I've always been into fitness and working out, y'all. That's nothing new for me. I already showed y'all that in the last video I created or the one before that. I've always been into fitness. I've always been into athletics. I played sports in high school. I played sports in middle school. In my 20s, I used to work out. This is not new for me. But the way that I'm doing it now, it's because I'm trying to heal my body, first of all. Second of all, I have time on my hands. I already told you I'm not doing much during the daytime, and that's unusual for me. So until I get it together and I get back in school, etc., I have time on my hands, and so I have time to bodybuild. I want to change up the aesthetic, and heal myself because I had lost so much weight, y'all. I was skinny like a stick. I had never been, well, in my early 20s, I had gotten that skinny. That time when I was going through the depression or whatever with my ex and stuff. But I haven't been that skinny in years, and so I was trying to get my body back. I was, and they keep coming for my self-esteem too, and with the mockery and the shadow networking and whatever else they do. So it was just a mix of things why I started working out. But one of the major motivating factors was healing my body because of what I went through last year. Anyway, y'all, so let me let that go though and not go off on a tangent. And not a tangent, really what it is I went off on a tangent from telling y'all, part of what started happening to me when I came back to Island after the thing went viral. And I was just telling y'all about the shadow networking software and how they were hinted to me about the energy weapons. And then I went off on a tangent and I started giving y'all extra details about the shadow networking software. Anyway, so that's what I've been dealing with, y'all, for the whole of last year. Like, I'm just like up in the ante with the targeting. Before I left Island, it was nowhere near as bad. It was bad. That's what made me relocate in the first place, because I'm like, you're doing all of this for a text. But I didn't expect, what happened to me to happen to me. I didn't expect to have the reactions I had. And I didn't expect the thing to go viral and for me to come back and learn that there was way more to this creepy program than what I realized, or even that it's a program to begin with. I didn't even know I was a target. I didn't even know that this was a program. I didn't learn until the end of last year when I got back and I did research. I just typed in people being stalked by groups of people, because after what I experienced in the States, it was way more invasive and way more crazy than what was happening to me before I left Island. And that was when I realized, wait a minute, this is not just something contained to the island, some spiteful thing they're doing because I sent the text message. This is some sort of something else that they got going on, is what I started to realize. And that was when I did the research, y'all. And I found out the term gang stalking. I came across the term gang stalking, started looking more into that. And that's what I learned when I learned about the targeted individual community. Started doing research, and from there it was history. I just learned all the stuff I learned and I started sharing it in my videos. Anyway, y'all, so it's been a roller coaster ride. It's been a year and change now of neuromonitoring, worsening of the tactics used on targets, et cetera, et cetera. And so one of the things they like to do is dream manipulation. From time to time, they like to send me very vivid, weird, off-kilter dreams. And so this is what happened last night. I want to document it. Not going to be a long video, y'all. It's just more documentation. This is my part 4 dream manipulation video. So let me show y'all what's going on. They were messing with me with the shadow networking software in the wee hours of the morning. This is what I was trying to tell y'all, because I was off last night. Last night was my night off. And so they were kind of messing with me with the technology before they sent the dream. Well, I suspect, let me try not to bear false witness, but like I'm 99.9% sure that they sent that dream. And y'all, also another video to check out is my evidence of mind control technology video. That's located in the comment section and the description box as well, where I share different links and sources that talk about this technology and its capabilities. I think I do this in every dream manipulation video just to validate what I'm saying, because I know how this program works and how you get gaslit and painted as somebody that's crazy. And that's why it's important to provide documentation and tangible things that can prove and validate your experience. So let me show y'all something real quick, even though this might seem redundant because I've shown this in several of my dream manipulation videos. I still, just for a refresher, and just to support what I'm showing in the video, I'd like to show y'all the evidence that this technology exists. There are patents for the technology, y'all. Obama signed the BRAIN Initiative. That's what the BRAIN Initiative was about, this brain-to-computer interface technology. DARPA has videos out there about the technology. I have it posted on my channel, y'all. If you check out my MK Ultra video, you got to scroll down to see it. You'll see clips from DARPA where they're talking about the capabilities of this technology. Anyway, let me show y'all real quick before I go into the documentation, y'all. I'm just going to show you the patent. And there are several patents out there, but this is just one of many that Google has posted. Google Patents is not going to post a fictitious patent. It says patent US 6506148, nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. Google Patents. They're not going to post a fictitious patent, y'all. And a patent for this technology isn't going to be out there floating if the technology weren't real. So understand, this is patented technology where they can manipulate your nervous system from a computer screen. They can send thoughts to your head. It's called thought manipulation. They can send vivid dreams to you, like what I'm about to document. It's called dream manipulation. They can control your body if they want to. It's that scary. Anyways, let me go ahead and show y'all something else before I go ahead and document what I want to document. I want to show y'all more evidence. That's the video I was referencing just now, y'all. This is another video I have posted where I showed a plethora of information about this technology and its capabilities. It's titled Evidence of Mind Control Technology Used on Targeted Individuals, right? And you see the thumbnail of the brain with the big old RFID chip. Yeah, check that video out, y'all. The link is in the description box in the comment section. I share a lot of pertinent information in that video as well. But for time sake, I might, actually I'm gonna click on that video as well and show y'all just a clip from that video. But first I want to show you this, a diagram, another video I have posted with info, y'all. This is a diagram from DARPA that I'm about to show you guys. And this was released at a Freedom of Speech press conference. Here it is. You see diagram of neuromonitoring effects on targeted individuals, and it's 32 minutes long. Check that video out when you get the time, y'all. Let me go ahead and click on it. Welcome back to my... Here's the diagram, y'all. I'm not going to keep it here too long. I just wanted to show y'all this is more evidence of what they can do. I'm not going to go through everything, all of the capabilities. Check out this diagram when you have the time, y'all. Check out this video where I'm going into detail and giving information. I just wanted to show you the part that's relevant to what I'm talking about in this video. If you look up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the caption, Vivid, Controlled Dreams. They can control your dreams. They can send you vivid dreams. It's called dream manipulation. Another thing I want you to hone in on. Forced manipulation, not that, sorry. Where is it? Hold on a minute, y'all. There's something I'm looking for. Both apparent direction, volume, and some. I was trying to see if I could get that green screen thing off of the screen and the other stuff. There's something else I'm looking for, y'all, that I'm not seeing now. Here it is. Whoa. Sorry, y'all. I was going through it's been a while since I've been on this diagram, y'all. I knew it well. I still know it well, but I was looking for this specific thing. If you check out the caption in the upper left-hand corner, forced memory blanking, because they can mess with your brain. Remember, again, it's brain to computer interface. So they're messing with your brain, your nervous system manipulation via a computer screen. Up in the upper left-hand corner, you see forced memory blanking. They can blank out your thoughts if they want to and make your brain go blank. And induced erroneous actions. So they can control your body if they want to with this technology. Anyway, let me come out of this. Y'all check out that video if you have the time. I don't think I have the link in the description box. I said in the last video I would start including it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I will probably put the link to this diagram of neuromonitoring effects on targeted individuals. I will likely put it in the description box in the comment section. But even if I don't, it's right here in my videos, y'all. If you scroll down, it's underneath the video that says revealing the X I talked about in my story. You'll see it. I wanted to show you one more thing, y'all. It's here in my evidence of mind control technology used on targets. I'm not going to share the whole video. I just want to share a clip from the video. Hello, welcome. Two clips. One of the clips is going to be, from a popular YouTube channel where they just shared a 17-second video talking about the capabilities of the technology. And then a very brief clip from another target that was just talking about his experience with the dream manipulation. And I shared this in my part 3 dream manipulation video as well, but I'm doing it again just to validate what's being shared in this video. And I do this for a reason, y'all, because gaslighting is one of the #1 tactics used on targets. They will make you feel nuts if you don't support what you are saying. That's why documentation and evidence is essential when you are targeted. You're trying to speed through and not do the same thing. But Category 3 specifically. Sorry, I'm trying to get to the part of the video where the clip, here it is. You know, the things that was happening to me physically in this program. When I did that symbol with my... Oh, what I was talking about there, y'all? With my hand. Was the symbol that I did with my hand at the beginning of last year that they're still running with. Not as bad, but they were running with it like crazy last year, and they're still kind of running with it. They're still sending it via their technology, the shadow networking software, to mock me. But I believe they made me do that. Forced, erroneous actions. Because a month or two prior to me doing that thing with my hand, after being antagonized and just being really angry and just throwing it up and can't explain why I did it, a month or two prior, they sent me a vivid dream. I didn't know about dream manipulation back then. Now I realize that's what it was. A very vivid dream that I told my mother about. She's my witness, right? Before I ever did that with my hand. With me floating over this naked man. It's so weird to talk about. But this is what happened in the dream. I've talked about it in several of my prior videos. I was floating over a naked man, and he started to do that symbol with his hand, and then him and I started to have intercourse, and then I woke up with my ear ringing. Ear ringing. Oh, let me show you guys that now. Now I want to go back to that video. So 25 seconds, 25 minutes in. I'm just trying to mark off where to come back to. Let me go back to the diagram, y'all. Another symptom of the technology, more evidence that I didn't do that with my hand. It was them. Because they ran with that, y'all. And with their social engineering, shadow networking software, how they like to social engineer and create false narratives and manipulate narratives, they started to spin this crazy narrative from that one time they saw me do that with my hand. Another symptom of the technology, y'all, is look over right at the left ear, the caption that's going straight from the left ear, right? It says artificial tinnitus, ringing in the ears. That's another symptom of the technology. This was before I learned any of this stuff. I had that dream and I told my mother about it, including the fact that I woke up with my ear ringing. So that's to tell you it was likely them. So anyways, I had that dream a month or two prior to me doing the thing with my hand randomly. After being antagonized, current being taken, you know, all I was sitting there doing was teaching myself how to code and making projects and trying to be productive. And I kept being antagonized, covertly harassed, current being taken every minute. And I got so angry one night because at that point they had started sending me threats. I talked about this to my pool game, you know, how they hack up everything with the shadow networking software. They started playing against me with avatars alluding to, you know what, the scary thing. You know, and so that was when I got so mad that night that I said, these people are so wicked. How could they do this? They done did so much to me. And out of nowhere, I threw my hand up in that symbol. Cannot explain it to this day, but I can prove to you that they can control your body with this technology. And I can prove to you that I had a dream a month or two prior, dream manipulation, where that symbol was utilized. Anyways, guys. Moving on, there's even a clip from DARPA that I have posted on my video where they were doing that thing with their hands. So that's something they do with this technology. It seems to be some sort of connection to this technology. And it's really creepy and gnarly, y'all. But I don't like to go down rabbit holes because they like to make false narratives. And anything I talk about, they take it and they start to create stuff. So I'm really scared and wary about talking about certain things. So I told y'all what they do and what they started doing to me last year. So I stay clear of certain things. I try not to talk about certain things because I realize what they do with the things I say, and they try to create these false narratives. But I'm not gonna click on the video. I'm just gonna go to it and let y'all check it out for yourself if you want. This video here that says targeted individuals are victims of MK Ultra mind control technology. I shared several clips, y'all, in that video with information. And one of the clips is from DARPA with them showing the capability of the technology. And they were even showing that symbol being done in the video. Why would they do that? They had the robotic hand that was being controlled doing that with that symbol with its hand. I don't want to play it on my video. I just don't want to play that. But understand it's in this video, so check it out, please. There's some sort of connection with that to this technology. That's how gnarly it is. So I really wouldn't want to be involved in this if I were anybody. Really, I wouldn't want to be. I would not want to be a gang stalker with this going on. And it's not a government thing. I have to keep reiterating that because they keep trying to paint it like it's that. It's this program thing. This program is diabolical. And it's an emulation of a program that was utilized in the Eastern German policing system. This is what they were using. This was from the Nazi camp. This is one of the programs they were using. This is where they got it from. The creator was a diabolical genius. They were using it to control dissidents in that society, and that society was obviously dystopian and authoritarian. Anyways, y'all, let me continue with what I was sharing with you all. Let me go back to the evidence of mind control technology video. Hello, welcome back. It's just being antagonized. This was me just talking about me doing that symbol with my hand. I'm not trying to play that right now. But y'all check out this whole video. I give good information in this. One of the videos that I showed y'all on my channel, technology, tonight, I'm going to words he's saying, but the his page that talks about this technology.
Something called psychoelectric weapons. Now you guys might be thinking, psycho what? And what can these weapons actually do? Well, this is where it gets super scary. They can do everything from controlling your dreams, controlling body movements, induce changes to your hearing.
Did you hear that? Controlling your dreams, controlling your body movements, induce changes to your hearing, the ringing of the ears, tinnitus. And that was it. 17 seconds of gold, y'all. Anyways, let's now move on to this target that was talking about his experience with the technology. That talks about this technology. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that video for you all as well.
Cool word. I'm back with another video. Target individual. Last night they used dream manipulation on me again. I wasn't gonna speak on it, but I needed to because I know other targets get dream manipulation. It's essentially brain to computer interface, synthetic telepathy. It's all proven science with U.S. patents. You can look it up. Dream manipulation, where they impose different thoughts by using different hertz, different frequencies from a computer because it has your brain signature. This is how they're able to do it. And they manipulate your dreams. They impose false dreams, impose false images. Dr. James Giordano is one person you can look up if you do not believe this is possible. He's a neuroscientist because this is what it is. It's neuroscience. They target the brain. They get your brain signature, and they're able to do this. So this is all facts. Synthetic telepathy, brain to computer interface. If you're hearing voices and microwave auditory hearing, the Frey effect, UH patents for it. You can look it up. So
when he's talking about the hearing voices, he's talking about the V2K guys.
Everything I'm saying is all facts. It's all factual. I know it's been done to me. It's been done to other targeted individuals in the past, year after year, decade after decade. A lot of people from the Bioethics Committee hearing back in 2011, when Obama was in office, spoke about dream manipulation also. So it's nothing new. We know what's going on. The synthetic tinnitus, synthetic telepathy, all this stuff is man manipulated. So I always got to say, do not fear these people. This is what they do. They do this to impose fear, to push you in a different state.
Now let me reiterate again, guys, because I have to keep saying that because they run with things when I share these videos or when I do my videos. I don't word things the same way he is, and I'm not coming for him or disrespecting him. He's given good information, and he has his own experience and his own story to tell. But I'm not trying to speak this day and impose fair stuff because it's not like I'm anti-government. I'm not. I'm anti this program. It's being used illegally on me. I'm being covertly harassed, right? And so this is why I do what I do as far as these videos go. But I'm not anti-government, and I never have been. I actually contemplated joining the military several times. I even showed y'all those emails shortly before I graduated from college and right before I became a target. So I'm not anti-government. I don't have an issue with the government. I have an issue with this program that's being used illegally on me. So I'm not with this they talk. I do think though when he's saying they, I think he's talking about the higher ups. So not the people, the face of the program, the main people in the mainland that run this thing. You know, that the DARPA scientist Robert Duncan talks about in that video that I shared. You know, the people that have an agenda with this technology. I think that's who he's talking about.
They're able to do dream manipulation when your mind is at a different level, like beta, theta, different levels when you rest, and they're able to do it. It's able to get manipulated like this. So dream manipulation is very real.
Sorry guys, I don't mean to keep pausing. This is the last time I'm gonna do it. But you heard how he said it's somehow like they're able to manipulate the brain when it's resting, right? This is how I believe they're able to control your dreams. But also, I've told y'all I've experienced thought manipulation during those times. I've told y'all in several videos, I don't remember which ones, in several of my prior videos, that usually when I'm falling off to sleep or when I'm waking up, I'll hear like a thought in my head that I didn't think. And so I'll sit up immediately and freak out. As a matter of fact, I know exactly which video I talked about it in. Y'all, that's partially what I'm about to document here in this video, because that's what happened to me in the wee hours of the morning this morning, right before I went to sleep and had the vivid dream. That video that I did as documentation, where two of the words that they have been pushing at me to sensitize me, and I showed y'all evidence of that as well, that they had been sending it to me before those thoughts pushed in my head. Two of those words that they had been sensitizing me to for about 2 weeks pushed into my head when I woke up. The random thought that I didn't think pushed into my head. So check out this video, part 3, gaslighting and programming of the targeted individual, if you want to hear about that. And if you want to hear more info about those words that they were sensitizing me to and how they were doing it with their shadow networking software, then you can check out my part 2, gaslighting and programming of the targeted individual video. Let me also show you something else from another target. I've been carrying this screenshot around for months, y'all. This is another target, the one in the thumbnail that you see up on the screen there, that was talking about his experience with this technology. And in the comments, there was a target that was saying, I get very little V2K. They have done it to me when falling asleep and waking up. You have my sympathy, because I wouldn't like that 24/7. And I took a screenshot of that because I was like, damn, that's what happens to me. You know, I wouldn't call it V2K. I think there's a difference between V2K and thought manipulation. Same technology, and they are similar. But with the thought manipulation, what it sounds like, because I've experienced it, I don't want to bear false witness. Y'all know about when I say bear false witness, for those of y'all that are familiar with my story, you know why I keep saying that. Check out my full story if you don't know why I keep saying that. But I suspect, and I've actually documented it in that part 3 video I just showed y'all to check. I told y'all to check out the gaslighting and programming of the targeted individual. I suspect that they have used the thought manipulation on me, because I've literally woken up and had a thought push in my head that I didn't think, and I'll set up right away and be like, what the hell, and freak out about it. But then also too, remember the MK Ultra they're using MK Ultra mind control to program your brain, because with the shadow networking software, and I talked about this in my 2 recent videos, the last 2 videos I posted before this one that I'm about to post, they're programming you. Every time they're using their shadow networking software to push videos with stimuli in it at you. For instance, in your recommended on YouTube, you're getting programmed, whether it's subliminally or overtly. You're getting programmed. Every time you see that stimuli, it's programming your brain. It's similar to seeing a Coca-Cola ad when you're watching the movies, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the movie, you feel like you want a Coke. You got programmed, and that's what's happening with. Yeah, let me specify, because they like to run with narratives and purposely take things out of context. When I said that line, y'all, in this video, they started making noise campaign, as if to say some of the things pushing my head is like, I wanted that thing. Like, it's like the freaking twist. They're so twisted and perverse sometimes when it comes to, deciphering the things I'm saying and purposely perversing it. What I'm saying is, all of the stimuli they're stuffing down my throat, all of the heinous accusations, including the race things, start to pop in my head on a regular day-to-day basis. I won't even be thinking about the thing. I won't even be talking about it. And randomly that stimuli is popping in my head. I'm not saying I want the stimuli that's popping in my head. I'm just saying that the things that they're constantly stuffing down my throat, all of the heinous accusations and all of the sensitization, all of the stimuli, it randomly pops in my head throughout the day because they are programming my brain. That was just an example. It was just an example talking about the ads and how, for instance, with Coca-Cola, how they pop it on the screen, that's something you're going to want, right? So that's why you would feel like you wanted it. But the point is, it pops in your head. And that's because your brain got programmed from seeing the ad. That's what I was saying. With this sensitization and stimuli that they stuff down your throat 24/7. So I can admit that even that could have even been what caused it. It could have been that I was laying there programmed and that thought just pushed out of my head because they've been pushing it in my head 24/7. But I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't think that's what happened. I strongly suspect that it was thought manipulation because they had been stuffing that stimuli down my throat for 2 weeks, right? And then I woke up, wasn't thinking about anything. You know, when you just wake up and your brain is foggy and you're just like trying to catch yourself, that's what was happening when the thought pushed in my head. I wasn't even cognizant enough to think, and I heard the thought. I heard it. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like when you think a thought but you know you didn't think it. That's what it was like for me. And I sat up immediately. I was like, what the heck? You know, both times it's like, what the heck? I said, no way, these people are not framing me. And then I made that video and I provided evidence proving that they had been pushing that stimuli at me for 2 weeks before the thought pushed in my head. Those two things. So the thought manipulation is real, y'all. And this target in here in the comment sections was talking about his experience with it every time he wakes up or falls asleep. So similar to what this target is saying in this video about the fact that there's something to do with sleeping and this technology, it seems like it's able to work better when you're sleeping, but they can do it when you're wide awake too, believe it. But when you're sleeping, there seems to be some sort of, I don't know, it makes it more cohesive, I guess. I really don't know. I don't know how it works completely. I'm still doing. Yeah, I definitely used the wrong word there. I didn't mean to say cohesive. I meant to say that it just makes it more effective. Research, y'all. And I'm gonna continue playing the video.
Manipulated like this. So dream manipulation is very real. It's real science. They've been able to do this for a while now. They hide this information from the public. If the public understood what was really going on, it'd be uproar. I understand most people, when they leave high school, they do not dab into science anymore, so they don't believe science. When they leave high school, they do not, especially if they don't go to a secondary school, they just don't believe in science after that point. So a lot of things that people might speak of is able to be done with science today. In 2022, they won't believe you. So it's like you'll be speaking to people who don't have ears. They will not understand what you're saying. Science has come a long way. Frequencies and hertz. Neuroscience.
I feel like I have to keep pausing and pausing. That was supposed to sensitize me too, by the way, guys. That frequency thing he said. If you check out my videos, y'all will know what I'm talking about. But that's another thing that they didn't even really try to run with that as much. And that's actually something that really did happen. That's what I think is crazy. But around that time when the symbol was done with my hand, you know, and they started to up the ante with the nano in my body, and it felt like I was being hit with microwave energy weapons. You know, I talked about what started happening to me a few months ago. You know, the most time I'm not in that same state that I was in a few months ago. But that was around the time I lost faith after those things. Y'all, when I say state, I don't mean like the United States. I was on island when those things happened. I meant that same state of being started happening to me. And so one of the things I started doing was looking into astrology. And another thing was I listened to a frequency. But I realize now that they sent that to me. That was before I was aware of the fact that they were able to send videos with subliminal messaging into your newsfeed. You know, that was before I had realized that they could target you through the TV, or as the correct term would be called, shadow network. Use their shadow networking software to basically send things to program you and sensitize you. And so I believe that frequency, not believe, I know that frequency that they sent was probably a part of the experimentation with this technology. You know, and I talked about my experience with the frequency, you know, so check out my videos, guys, my prior videos if you want to hear more about that. I've talked about it in several videos, but you can check out my part 1, more evidence to disprove new allegations against me video to hear more about that frequency. But then there's also another video I talked about it in recently. I'm trying to remember which video that was. That was my part. Yo, while I'm talking about this, I started hearing an ambulance. That's just more proof that they are experimenting on me. I don't know why the ambulance would go off unless they're, I guess, trying to confirm the experimentation, like it's a good for me or something. I don't know. But I don't really care. I'm glad that I can document it. Part 1, more targeted individual information video. So I've talked about it in several videos, y'all, and actually that's one of the things they don't focus on, and that's, oddly enough, one of the things I actually did do. But there was this meditation. It said, y'all, listen, I don't know if you can hear it. It's really off in the distance, but listen. It's way off in the distance, y'all, so I don't know if the video's going to pick up on it, but the ambulance is going off, boy. Quantum frequency. And it said that it would help you to get to the place you want in life. It's like a meditation that can make your life better, or whatever it was saying in the beginning of the video. And I listened to it. I was in a very low state at that time. I had lost faith. Like I said, I was looking into astrology. I looked into my birth chart. I was trying to figure out different things about myself to see if I could find out why I was being. And y'all, they love to throw their astrology at me too, and again, create false, weird, creepy ass narratives. The only thing I did with the astrology, which is still wrong if you're somebody that believes in the Bible, you're not supposed to deal with that stuff. No disrespect to you if that is your belief system. The one thing I'm not trying to do is offend anybody in their belief system. But according to my belief system, you're not supposed to deal with that stuff. And so this is why I said that was me losing faith. The only thing I did, and they were watching me as I did it, was look into my birth chart. I just learned the birth chart. I looked into it, and I saw some cryptic message about a Saturn return, and that being what I was going through. That around the age when my targeting started, there's going to be this life altering lesson that I had to learn, and if I didn't learn it by I forget what age, then I would be in darkness forever. It was some creepy ass cryptic message that I stumbled across when looking into my birth chart. That's as far as the astrology went. I didn't do anything else with astrology. And then they sent this frequency to me around that time, and I listened to about 10 minutes of it. And it was very creepy, and it was them trying to experiment on me with their shadow networking software. Anyways. Targeted. I talked about why I looked into those things, even in that video, that same video I just mentioned. Because I saw in a fellow Target's page, Michelle Angelic's page, that she and her boyfriend at the time, or her friend, whatever he was to her, they were talking about the fact that he had read her birth chart, and he was able to see why she became targeted. So at that time, I was kind of looking into any and everything, foolishly, and I looked into my birth chart. And so that's how I was looking into the astrology. I just looked into my birth chart. But then also, too, around that time, that frequency was sent into my news feed. And so me not knowing that they were able to send stuff to me to sensitize me and program my brain, I didn't realize that, and I was in a desperate state, and I listened to it. I said, okay, well, anything will do right now, right? So I played the frequency while I was falling asleep, and they said, just listen to this and follow my voice. It was called a guided meditation, and it was supposed to be quantum frequency, right? So I listened to it, and the guided meditation was basically just telling me to close my eyes, envision the things that I wanted in life, envision how I wanted my life to be going right now, just stuff like that. I talked about it in that video that I just showed y'all to view. And so I ended up listening to the video, and I was just envisioning things, envisioning myself living the life I thought I would live after graduating from college. Just a regular life, working a... I'm hearing somebody hammering. It's like, it's almost like a special... Okay, let me stop. I'm not going to get disrespectful. Let me just play the video, y'all. Successful job, married, kids, etc. Just the regular stuff any woman wants. And then I fell asleep and I woke up. Let me rewind that, y'all, so you can hear what I envisioned. Regular stuff. I envisioned living a regular life, the life I was supposed to live after graduating from college, not being a target and dealing with all this weird shit. And so I don't have to rewind it. I'm just going to repeat what I said in the video, y'all. And you can check out this video yourself if you want to hear it. But I was just envisioning living a regular life, not being targeted, being married with kids, working the career I thought I would be working, just regular stuff, y'all. And then I ended up falling asleep. My eyes were rolling up in my head, and I was going, and it was literally so bad too that I actually started to sit up out of the bed, and I felt it happening, and I shook it off, and I said my prayers, and I had only watched about, you could say, 10 minutes of the frequency, and it was already doing that to me. It had already knocked me out and was doing that to me, and I said my prayers, and I took it off. But there's something to do with frequencies and this technology. Even in that DARPA scientist interview, apparently it's Robert Duncan, like I told you all, he talks about quantum frequencies. In that video, the MK Ultra mind control video that I showed y'all I posted, where I shared a clip from DARPA and also a clip from Michael Barden, and I told y'all there was a third target in that video and I don't remember his name. He's talking about quantum frequencies. So there's something to do with quantum frequencies in this technology. And they're using frequencies. Remember, you're chipped with the RFID chip. That's an acronym for radio frequency identifier. So they're using frequencies to control this technology. So it's all about frequencies. The Earth is on a frequency, a natural frequency. So what they're doing with this technology is they're emulating the Most High's creation. The earth is on a natural frequency, they're creating these man-made frequencies. The brain is like a natural computer with your neurons and your neurotransmitters. They're creating fake, you could say brain-like technology with the nanobots and their computer systems, etc. It's all just emulation of the Most High's creation, and then they're bioengineering and connecting it and creating this Frankenstein type stuff, you know? So that's what's going on. But anyway, so I just wanted to let y'all know they were, I think, trying to sensitize me with that frequency word too. And when I say Frankenstein type stuff, y'all, I'm talking about transhumanism and their agenda to create like a new species of human and robotics. Because like I said, they did send this video in my newsfeed, and they used their shadow networking software to do it. So I believe they put certain keywords in, and videos pop up with those keywords in, and they throw it into your newsfeed. But I also believe they can actually change videos too as you watch it. That I haven't totally verified, but I strongly believe that from some of the things I've... Y'all, since making this video, I have shown you several videos with them doing that, where it looks like something that was recorded and they changed the video. And I'm about to show you something else. What happened to me this morning, in the wee hours of this morning, what this video is about, before I fell asleep and had that weird dream that I had, where it looks like they changed the technology in real time. Seen, and then even on Truth Hurts Hypocrisy America, another Target's page, some of the things he shared on his video, in his videos, I believe they have the technology to do that as well, which would be nothing. That's small cake, that's small beans compared to what they're doing, where they can chip your brain and do all these different things. Anyway, so let me go ahead and finish playing this video for y'all.
All this stuff is like valid when you talk about stuff like this. The everyday citizen in America won't know what we're talking about, and that's the sad part, because they're ignorant to the fact that this is going on and it's been happening for years. But the government and officials know, the intelligence agencies, they know that most people will be ignorant to this. So when you speak like this and speak of hearing voices with microwave auditory hearing, the Frey effect, different frequencies, pulse frequencies, like,
I don't totally agree with him when he says that the government knows that people will be ignorant to it. I don't think so, because I know for a fact that my gang stalkers knows this technology is real, and they full on be doing noise campaign in support of it. So I don't think that the general population. I'm not going against him because, again, like I said, he's given good info. But I know why he would feel that way, because you are gaslit as a target, and they will make you feel like you're crazy. So you might really think, well, damn, it's so unbelievable. Maybe they don't believe that it exists. But no, they know it exists. I know for a fact my gang stalkers knows it exists. So I don't think the government thinks that people will be so ignorant that they won't believe it. But I think that they know that typically people tend to trust their government. So they're going to go along with what the government says to do, even if it means using this technology. And again, I'm not anti-government. I'm just anti this program. And I have a right to have that opinion. I'm anti this program, and I'm anti the use of this technology. That doesn't mean I'm going against the government. I have a right to have an opinion. But that's what I think is going on. I think people just tend to trust their government, and they're going to go along with whatever's being utilized. And I think that's what's going on. I don't think people are ignorant to the technology. They're very well aware of it.
talk about dream manipulation.
Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna stop here, right? Check it out so you can hear more from him and, more information in this evidence of mind control technology video. I have several videos posted like that, y'all. I just wanted to include that in this video. Look at this, already 52 minutes. This is how it goes. And I just want to include that in this video before I documented what I'm going to document now to validate what I'm saying. I always do that. All right, so let me show y'all. I took a recording last night, y'all. I told you guys already, and you might think this is weird or, quirky. I guess you could say this is a little weird quirk of mine. I told you guys this in prior videos. Even prior to my targeting, I like to watch something called ASMR. And what that is basically videos where people will either do mukbangs. That's very popular right now in society, the mukbang community. So I don't think that's something that's so off kilter, but maybe the ASMR element of it. Even though that community in and of itself has millions and millions of viewers, I think that's still sort of like a niche market that not everybody knows about. So ASMR is basically just you putting on videos where people are intentionally either speaking really softly, maybe making noises like, shaving somebody's head or writing on a piece of paper, eating food, whatever it is. It's a sound that causes what's called tingles. And tingles is that feel good feeling. The best way I can describe it is like when you're in bed and it starts to rain, and you just came out the shower and you took a fresh shower, and you're under the covers, and you're rubbing your feet together, and you feel that really cozy, nice feeling that you feel before you fall asleep. That's equivalent to what tingles feels like. So for some people, hearing somebody speak softly or read like a book and they have like a soft voice, it gives them tingles. It makes them feel sleepy and relaxed. And I've always been that way since childhood. Actually, my older sister used to tease me about it. And then when I found that there was a community of people who felt the same way, I was like, oh my God, yay. Because then I was able to find videos that catered to that feeling, you know? And so I remember I used to tell my sister, oh, I love this person's voice when we'd be watching shows and stuff. You know, the person would have like a soft voice. And I'd be like, I love that person's voice. It's making me feel so relaxed. And she used to laugh at me. And she used to say, I hate voices like that. Like, she doesn't like soft voices. Like, she's the opposite of me, my older sister. So she's like, oh my God, I don't know why you like that. She's like, that's so annoying. But for me, that always used to make me feel relaxed. Or like in class, I always loved reading and English and stuff. That's always been my favorite subject. And I remember in elementary school, when we would take turns going around the classroom reading, I used to love when one of my classmates that had a soft voice would read. And I'd be laying there playing with my hair and falling asleep on the desk. That's called tingles. And that's what the ASMR community is about. And so I like to watch those videos. I've been doing it since before I was targeted. I learned about the community when I was in college, but I've always had that feeling of liking to hear soft speaking people, soft voices. You know, it relaxes me. It helps me get to sleep. So they know that. They know I like to watch ASMR videos. They're watching me like a hawk. They know everything about me. I think at this point they know me better than I know myself. Actually, I don't think so. They don't really know me. They think they know me. They have their warped perception of me, but they know everything about me. And so they know I like to watch these videos. And so with their AI shadow networking software, you know how I told y'all they'll throw you videos that seem like an algorithm. So it will resemble things you like to watch, but it will be ladled with stimuli. That's what they do sometimes with these ASMR videos. So oftentimes I don't even click on it anymore when they throw it at me. Sometimes I will. They also throw mukbang videos at me. I like to watch those as well, watching people eat, but that's a different type of thing. I just like watching people eat delicious food. And I'm not the only one. Like, the mukbang community has so many, so does the ASMR community. But the mukbang community is more well known, I think, in society, where people just sit down and watch people eat. It's such an odd thing, you know, if you think about it, but really it's just something that people do now. Anyway, so they know I like to watch those type of videos, and they love to throw that in my news feed as like an algorithm, but it'll have sensitization and stimuli in it. So last night they sent me this guy, right? This older guy here. They sent me a video for him, right? And in the initial video they sent me, he was eating beef jerky and cheese, and I was hearing an ambulance in the background. So I realized that's how they were trying to sensitize me. But I told y'all, oftentimes when they send stuff to tease me, mock me, whatever they're trying to do with their shadow networking software, oftentimes they'll send me stuff that I end up liking or can utilize. I always do that. I always take what they're trying to use against me and I use it for me instead. Like Michael Barden, for instance. They're the reason I found Michael Barden. They were throwing the covert home harassment video at me last year because what was said in it was a lot of stimuli and sensitization. Some of the stuff he was saying, it was ladled with stimuli and sensitization. But I looked at the things he was saying, aside from what they were trying to sensitize me to, and realized this man was giving good info. So I went to his page and I realized he had a bunch of good info on his channel. And I was like, yes, thank you, shadow networkers. Another thing they sent me that ended up helping me was the reactive abuse video, the 3-minute clip. I'm not going to go over to YouTube right now. But if y'all scroll down through my videos, you'll see that 3-minute clip, where it's about a 5-minute video, where I shared that clip talking about what reactive abuse is. I didn't know what the terminology for what they do to us is, us targets, where they do these things to get a reaction. And then when they get the reaction, they hone in on it and they punish you for the reaction. I didn't know what the terminology was called until they sent that video, trying to tease me, trying to mock me. And I ended up taking the video and using it to further explain and expose their tactics. And so I've used the reactive abuse term in a lot of my videos. So that's just an example of how I can use what they throw at me to help me. Anyway, so this guy, they threw him at me trying to, just sensitize me because there was an ambulance in the background of his initial video that they sent to me. But I realized, I liked his videos. He's, very relaxing. He does the soft voice thing. He's also doing the eating food thing. It's kind of different because I've never seen a mukbanger eating that didn't have teeth. And this guy seems to not have teeth. So he was eating, right? And it was just interesting to see the way he was eating, because it's like you could tell he doesn't have teeth in his mouth. That's different. I'm not gonna lie. I've never watched a mukbanger that didn't have teeth, and I'm not judging him or saying anything disrespectful. I'm just saying it was different. I don't know if they're trying to tease me in that way too. I don't know how, because my mouth is full of teeth. I don't know if they're trying to fairmonger and say they're gonna get rid of my teeth or what. Y'all, God forbid. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know what it was about, but I ended up liking the guy's channel. And checking out his other videos and seeing he had like 452,000 subscribers. And I realized why. He's really good at the videos he does. It's very relaxing. Instantly when I checked out his second video, the one that they started messing with before they sent me the weird dream, I instantly started falling asleep. And so that was where, I realized, dang, they sent me a good mukbanger, a good ASMR guy. Like, he's really, the way he's doing it is really good. Like, he's good at what he's doing, and it's really relaxing. I started falling asleep while I was listening to him. And I think they didn't like that. I think they sent him to harass me. You know how they like to do. And they didn't like the fact that I actually enjoyed his channel. I know I'm the most annoying target they've ever dealt with. Good for them. Anyway, so while I was listening to his video and I started falling asleep, right before I fell asleep, I heard the thought, I'm going to give Bob a try tonight. This is what I heard in my head, and his name is Bob. They're laying there, I'm falling asleep finally, because I was having trouble getting to sleep because my body has now gotten acclimated to work in the night shift. I told you the only nights I'm off now is Monday. Every other night I'm working. And so at this point now, my body has gotten acclimated to work in the night shift, right? So I woke up around, I think it was like around 1 o'clock when I woke up, and I had a third meal I needed to eat anyways. I told you I do meal prep on Mondays to go along with the bodybuilding workout schedule I have going on. So I made chili yesterday, y'all. And because I made it yesterday night, I wasn't able to eat it all at the same. I'm hearing weird noises all of a sudden, y'all. I don't know. Whenever I start to break down these videos and make sense, people get mad. It's weird. I don't really understand what's going on. But anyways, so I made chili yesterday for my meal prepping. Like I told you, I do meal prep meals on Monday. And so I wasn't able to eat the lunch and dinner meal prep portion because I had just made it last night. So what I did was instead I ate the lunch portion, and then I set an alarm to wake up in the middle of the night so I could eat the other portion. And typically what I'll do is at work, I'll fit in the extra meals. That's what works for me, but I didn't work last night. So I had to set an alarm to wake me up so that I could eat. But before the alarm went off, my body woke me up naturally because it's getting used to being awake at night now. At this point, it's acclimated to working the night shift. So I fell asleep around 8 o'clock and my body woke me up around 12:30, right? So this is why I was just looking at random stuff on YouTube, and I came across this video for this guy that they threw at me. Not the one that you see on the screen there that I took a screen recording of. It was a different one that they sent to me where there was an ambulance in the background. And so then I went to his channel and I started watching his videos and realizing I actually liked him. And so I was listening to this video that you see on the screen there, and I realized, damn, this is really putting me to sleep. I was like, he's really good at what he does. And so I was laying there and started falling asleep. And before I could fall asleep, the same thing like what I showed y'all in the prior clip, right? Where I was showing you underneath in the comment section, where the person was talking about the fact that they use V2K on them when they're going to sleep and waking up. And I told you I've experienced that too. Every time I'm falling asleep, I hear a thought. Not every time, but that's when I've noticed the thought manipulation to happen the most prevalently. That's what happened. I was like literally on the cusp of falling asleep, and I heard, I'm gonna give Bob a try tonight. So I said, what? I sat up immediately. I said, give Bob a try tonight. I said, I didn't think that. I told y'all how I like to, I'm very dramatic with it because I want to very much so prove that it wasn't my thought, because I know what they do with this technology. So I sat up, I said, what? I said, I didn't think that thought. I said, give Bob a try tonight. I said, I didn't think that. I said, this is them messing with my brain. I said, I didn't think that thought. I said, what the heck is going on? Right? And as soon as I thought that, y'all, they started messing with the video, all of a sudden I started hearing noise campaign in the background of the video. It was quiet. He's at the park doing the video. He's not going to go to a loud place to do an ASMR video. Anybody that does ASMR knows it's supposed to be a quiet environment and setting. You're not going to have loud noises in the background doing an ASMR video. If that happens, you're going to stop and do the whole video over. He's sitting there at the park. It was nice and quiet. He's doing the ASMR video, whispering and eating softly, whatever. All of a sudden, I started hearing loud noise campaign in the background when I sat up. I said, I didn't think that. So that's to tell you they can change the technology in real time. I've shown y'all in several videos, if you check out my prior videos, that they have the capability to do that. In my part 3, example of shadow networking software utilized on targeted individuals, where I'm showing you how they were mocking Truth Hurts Hypocrisy America, another target, through that video. If you go to his channel, you'll see videos where he has shown you that they have the capability to change already pre-recorded videos. Sorry, that's a message here because I have family traveling today, y'all. They're in a group chat and I'm in that group chat. Anyway, damn, it's so easy for me to lose my train of thought. Y'all know I have ADD. Anyway, so check out Truth Hurts Hypocrisy America's page, y'all, if you get the chance, because he has several videos where he's shown you that they can do this. And I've shown y'all too in several other videos. I've shown you examples of the fact that they can actually change the technology in real time. It's creepy. Anyway, so that's what they started doing to mess with my head. You know, after I was, you know, I think it pissed them off. That's what they sent me. Rather than it antagonizing me, it helped me, you know, because I was able to realize his videos are nice and I like them. And I started to finally drift off to sleep. And as soon as I'm about to fall asleep, I hear that thought, I'm gonna give Bob a try tonight. I'm like, what? You know, so I sat up freaking out about the thought. And the next thing you know, I hear I hear noise campaign in the background of Bob's video, right? So I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, are they messing with the technology right now? I said, how is there noise campaign in the background of his video? Then to further solidify what I was saying, he then turns around when the noise stops and says, it's nice and quiet out here today. If it were quiet out there, if that noise campaign weren't them manipulating the video, he would have never said that. If that were really in his video, he would have never said it's a nice quiet day out here today. And then there's another clip I recorded of the video where he said there's barely anyone out here today. So listen, y'all, I screen recorded it because I could not believe it. I was like, what the hell is going on? Listen. Y'all hear the loud noise campaign in the background? And I know y'all know that's what it sounds like when the neighbors and people around you are using noise campaigns on you. Mind you, I didn't record... Sorry, I rewinded it back to that. Mind you, I didn't record the whole video. This is just a clip of the video. But understand, the whole video was nice and quiet to the point where I was falling asleep. And then I heard the thought, I'm going to give Bob a try tonight. And I sat up and started freaking out. And then all of a sudden, in the background of the video, I'm hearing noise campaign. Listen. Y'all hear that? You can't, it sounds compromised. You're hearing like scratchy stuff and you can't hear it clearly. But I know y'all heard the noise campaign sound that was happening. Then it stopped. He continued to eat. And then he made the comment, it's kind of a quiet day out here today. Why would he say that if all that loud noise was happening, that was just happening just now in the video? That was them messing with my head, right? Let me continue to play the video. And then to further prove what I'm saying, right? Let me now go to the second clip where he said something else. They were really just messing with me, y'all. Because it pissed them off that I liked what they sent me instead of it being able to antagonize me. Listen to this comment he made.
Not very much people are here at the lake today.
Do you see how they're effing with me? Do you see how they're messing with me? He said, not very much people are here at the lake today. He even looked behind him. They were messing with me, y'all, because they saw me falling asleep on the fact that I liked his videos. So I laughed and I cracked up. I said, wow, they are messing with me. You know, I made a big deal about it. And of course, I heard noise campaign outside. You know, there's always somebody up watching you. So anyways, that happened. I don't need to play the rest of this. It was just like a couple more seconds of that, right? And so still I continued to watch his videos, even though it freaked me out what they did. And I fell asleep. He actually helped me get to sleep. So I think that pissed them off and they decided to throw a gnarly dream at me. So I'm sleeping, and they're also aware of the fact that this person, I'm going to say the relationship. I don't say relationships. I always say the people in my close circle when I'm referring to anyone other than myself, whether it's family, friend, anybody, because I've gotten backlash in the past for mentioning people in my videos. But specifically, I'm going to mention a family member because this is who they sent the dream about. And coincidentally enough, this family member is traveling. This is my mother. She had, basically, we like planned this big surprise birthday party for her. She made 60. And so we all chipped in together and we put together like a surprise birthday party for her. And so they all went up there to the United States to have, and I say the United States because I'm here in the islands, y'all, to have this big bash for her because it was her 60th birthday party. And I didn't go for several reasons. First of all, I told y'all already, I only just started doing security again a few months ago. So I didn't want to take off from work so soon. And I'm already glad they're giving me so many hours. I didn't want to jeopardize that. That's the first reason I didn't go. And then second of all, I'm still traumatized about what happened to me in 2022 when I tried to relocate. Like, I need to thoroughly know that I'm out of this program before I ever go to the United States again. And it's not that I don't want to go. I do. I think it's so unfair what happened to me and what is still happening. But because of it and because of my trauma and PTSD, I don't want to go up there unless I know that I am out of this program. I don't ever want to experience what I experienced up there again. So those are the two main reasons why I didn't go. And unfortunately, I missed such a monumental moment, right? But that's what happened. I missed it. But they know, they're aware of the fact that she's away. They even saw messages in the group chat, where we're sending like messages, all of us in the group chat about, the party and what happened, etc., etc. All of a sudden, they're sending me this weird, creepy dream to freaking malign me because they can't get under my skin and antagonize me with their tactics. I keep busting it down. It's pissing them off. They keep trying to mock me via the technology. And every time they do, I throw in my part 3 example of shadow networking AI software utilized on targets, and I bust on the tactic. And so yesterday they got so pissed, they kept trying to mock me and send me stuff to embarrass and humiliate me. Because again, remember, you're being surveilled by all these different people. And oftentimes the people watching you don't really care for you, or they have a disdain towards you. And so for them to be subbing you and sending all this offensive roasting type stuff, like they're roasting you via these videos with the subliminal messaging, and knowing these people are staring at you, it's humiliating and uncomfortable. And this is what they do all day long. It's one of the main tactics they like to use. And so the fact that I was able to bust it down and I keep throwing on that part 3 video, it's pissing them off. So that's when they start sending more gnarly stuff, like the other sinister accusations that they tried to paint up and stir up with their manipulation and social engineering. And so they sent me something creepy yesterday, and I'm going to repeat it. Not about this family member I'm about to talk about another family member, just trying to be creepy and again, social engineer because I was pissing them off, and the mockery they were trying to use to humiliate me was no longer working. So now I think last night, again, they were trying to antagonize me. It didn't work. And I ended up falling asleep to the person they were trying to antagonize me with, even despite them messing with the video and the thought manipulation I suspect happening. And all of a sudden, they send me this gnarly dream, right? And it was ladled with stimuli, y'all. And I'm very wary about it. Again, I apologize for the offensive racial Hebrew-Israelite propaganda I shared in my car in Florida. I am scared of race. I am traumatized. I stay away from it, y'all. I run from the topic. But I have to document what was in this dream. It was a bunch of stimuli, and race was in it as well. This is how I know it was. I can't concretely say I know it was them because I don't want to bear false witness. And even though I can prove the technology exists, I can prove I'm targeted, I can't concretely prove they did this to me because it's an intangible form of torture and harassment. But I suspect, I'm 99.999% sure that this was dream manipulation, especially with what was in the dream and what happened or what preceded me having the dream. Hold on a minute, y'all. Whoa, I didn't mean to play that, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to pause the video. I'm coming back, y'all. Give me a minute. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. I had to go spit real quick. TMI, but sorry. Anyway, so let me document the dream I had, y'all. So I'm sleeping, right? And a lot happened in this dream, by the way. I can vaguely remember other things happening, but the vivid part that I can mainly remember is what I'm going to document here because a lot was going on in this damn dream, right? So I'm driving in the car with my mother, and she's talking to me. We're having this conversation, and she randomly, look, I'm hearing noise campaign now that I'm getting to this part here. She randomly, y'all, starts throwing in stimuli about race, basically, in the conversation. So she was saying something about homelessness and race in the conversation. And this typically is what happens when you're targeted. You know, you'll have conversations with people in your close circle or strangers, whoever, and the conversation will be ladled with innuendos. Whatever it is that they feel like they're targeting you for, or whatever false narrative they're trying to paint, whatever, you know, they'll like insert stimuli into the conversation. And so in this conversation I'm having with my mother in the vehicle while she's driving, and remember, if you check out my new neighbor video, not to bring this up, I kind of gave you an example of how this really does happen to me. Remember, I told you we were driving by. If you check out the new neighbor video, y'all, this is going to sound like foreign info if you haven't seen that video. Please do check it out. But I noticed a trailer outside of this abandoned house that's been in the neighborhood for like a long time. And so immediately, I didn't even see who was moving in. I honed in on it. I did the same thing in the old neighborhood. In the old neighborhood, when I documented that trailer, that was when they started letting me know that they were listening to my thoughts. They've been doing it for, I'm sure, for the whole of last year, but they didn't reveal it to me until June of last year when I documented that trailer in that neighborhood. So in this neighborhood now, I got off work. I told you I worked the night shift. I got off when I was driving home, and I drove by that abandoned house that's been abandoned for years. It's the house behind the house that's to the right of me. So the neighborhood I live in, I've told you guys this already, it's a very close, like the houses are very close together, like literally right next. It's one of those type of neighborhoods where the houses are right next to each other. And so the house that I'm talking about, the abandoned house, is behind the house directly to the right of me. So it's very near to my house. And so I noticed that the abandoned house had a big trailer outside. So my heart dropped immediately. I got, nervous. I was like, oh my God. I immediately thought about what Michael Barden said in his covert home harassment video, where he said, be wary of new neighbors. And, just basically talking about one of the tactics they use is they'll have new neighbors move in to gang stalk you, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes they'll have them use energy weapons. I'm not saying that's happening to me. I'm not bearing false witness. I'm just telling you what Michael Barden said and what made me wary of trailers. He's talking about the fact that sometimes they'll have them use energy weapons on you and all this other stuff. And he was documenting what happened to him. And I showed you an example of this, y'all, in my new neighbor video. I even showed a clip from the video to prove my point, because they tried to make it a race thing when they knew full well that's not what it was. When I was documenting the trail outside of the house in this neighborhood, when I did it in the old neighborhood, and it had nothing to do with race. That's why they started letting me know they were listening to my thoughts. So anyways, I did that in this neighborhood. Oh my God, why am I saying that? I'm losing my train of thought here. Oh, just giving you an example of what that looks like when someone in your close circle or anyone does that to you, has a conversation with innuendo in it, to sensitize you. And so I told y'all when I saw the trailer, immediately I made a mental note that I was going to make a video about it. And then later in that day, before I could make the video, my mother and I were driving by that same house, and we saw that the neighbors moving in were white. And I'm just telling y'all, I'm not saying this in an offensive way. I already talked about in detail what happened in that new neighbor video. I'm not going to go into details about it right now. I'm really not. And I don't want to offend anyone either, because I kind of put my foot in my mouth with that video, even though I wasn't trying to be offensive. I was literally just being real. And the problem is sometimes I'm too real and I don't think before I speak and whatever. Anyway, so we saw the neighbors were white. I didn't see. I was looking out the window. I wasn't even looking at that house. I just heard my mom say, look, white people. Like, I'm trying not to laugh because it's so stupid, right? But she was like, look, white people. And so, I looked to the left. I'm like, okay, but she does that. She's never done that before. This is not the kind of vernacular she uses. This is not how we speak. We don't randomly point out, look, they're doing big noise campaign outside now, y'all, because I'm making sense. Y'all, let me move. Y'all hear that? They literally have somebody outside doing big noise campaign now because I'm doing this video. Anyway, a noise campaign will probably happen on this side of the house too, but that was some real loud noise campaign. And let me hurry up and finish the video, y'all. So she was like, look, white people. And this is not how she talked in the past. This is not how we talk. We don't randomly point out white people like they're aliens. This is something they're doing now because of the offensive Hebrew Israelite propaganda I shared in my car in Florida to antagonize me or whatever it is, sensitize me, whatever. And so she was like, look, white people. And I happened to notice that it was the house that I had already made a mental note of earlier to document the trailer outside of. So anyway, that's an example of what I mean when I say they have conversations with stimuli in it to sensitize you. Like, she wouldn't have normally pointed out, that it's just something that they do now. So that's kind of what was happening in this dream. My mom was having a conversation similar to that, talking about somebody that was white and homeless, and she was saying some really offensive stuff. But you could tell again that it was a conversation with innuendo in it, right? To sensitize me. And this is what was happening in the dream. So, anyways, I'm just looking at her like, looking at her crazy, like I always do when it starts happening, when anyone is doing it. It's not just her, it's like whoever, everyone at this point. I was just looking at her like this kind of way. And then all of a sudden the car starts to like have an issue. And it's like it's breaking down on us, right? Hold on, y'all. The fridge is making a weird noise. Hold on a second, y'all. Because now I'm outside. I had to move from my room because of the noise campaign that started outside when I was doing this video. Anyway, so the car starts to break down on us, after she said what she said. And I noticed that we're like pulled over and stranded. I'm like, oh shit. And then I see somebody pulling up behind us. So I said, I'm gonna go get help. So I run to the vehicle behind us, and it's a white man coming out of the vehicle in a plaid shirt with a gun in his hand, right? And so I was just like, what? So I got scared immediately because I knew the offensive shit that was just being said in the car. Now, although I know it's obviously her using an innuendo on me, common sense, it still felt like for some reason he might not have realized that, because I remember that kind of being the case when we were in the United States, when my targeting had first started going viral. I remember when she had came up there and several family members, and they're doing that thing, they had started doing it up there. I remember the gang stalkers going ham on the road, and sometimes it almost seemed like they didn't know that the people in my close circle were using innuendos. It seemed like sometimes they didn't realize that. I don't know. I can't tell. It was just really creepy what was happening in the States, y'all. Anyway, so he had the gun, and I got scared instantly for my mother, because I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he realizes that this was her just trying to sensitize me. So I started telling him, no, she didn't mean it. I started telling him, no, she was trying to sensitize me. She was trying to sensitize me is what I was telling him. And so I remembered running to the car to tell her to let's go, let's try and get the car started. We gotta go. And she was like passing out when I went back to the car. So I remembered freaking out at the fact that she was passing out. And so I was forced to run back to the guy that had the gun, and I had to run and ask him for help in the dream. This is how this was, come on, y'all, this was dream manipulation. What are the odds that I would now have to turn around and ask the person who were saying offensive stuff, well, I wasn't saying offensive stuff about, but who my mom was saying offensive stuff about to sensitize me? What are the odds that I would now have to turn around and run to him and ask for help? And he had a gun in his hand. So this is them, come on, man. This was obvious dream manipulation, y'all. So anyways, I had to run, and I was like asking him for help, even though I knew that there was a risk there because he had the gun. I didn't see any other option. I said, please, I'm so sorry for what was being said. Please help us. Please help us. I was begging him for help. And so he came in like he was going to help us, but he still had this like really like angry look on his face. And so he hopped in behind my mom. I moved my mom over to the passenger seat, and he held her, and I tried to drive. I got the car started. I was able to get it started, and I was kind of trying to drive to the ER. And so he's holding her, but it kind of seemed like he had her in a chokehold. It seemed like rather than helping her, like he had his arm around her neck and like he was trying to choke her. This was such a weird, creepy dream. I don't even want to talk about it, but it happened. They're sitting there watching my dream like a movie. I don't know how this thing really works, y'all. Like they're purposely doing noise campaign behind me. And I knew they were going to start doing it. It's so predictable. I knew they were going to purposely start doing it. But I still came out here anyways just to see if I could finish the video and document what happened. But I knew they were going to spitefully start doing noise campaigns behind me. Anyway, so he starts choking off my mom, right? In a chokehold. And so I was just like, oh my God, I was like, please stop, because he's choking her. She's already having this thing where she's passing out. I'm like, oh my God, like now I have to try and fight somebody off while she's here passing out, and so I had to pull over to the gas station, and eventually I had to really struggle with him and push him out of the vehicle and get the door closed and continue to speed to try to get her help. And so she's still in and out of consciousness and like she's passing out, and I'm shaking her like, wake up, please, trying to keep her awake, because it's like I feel like if she passes out too much, then that's where it would be a problem. So eventually I'm speeding trying to get help. She really does just completely pass out. And so I see a group of people on the road, and it's like they're doing drag racing or some craziness in the road. And I pull over next to them, and I scream and I run out and get help from them, and a bunch of them come over, and oddly enough, coincidentally enough, there's a nurse in the crowd, right? So the nurse runs over and is like trying to get get her resuscitated, because at this point now she's completely blacked out. I said, oh my God, I started crying and bawling. I said, please help, please help. I started to bawl in the dream. I was bawling. And then the nurse started to resuscitate my mom and got her pulse back. And so her pulse came back and she woke up and she started to come to. And I was like, oh my God, thank Yahweh. And Yahweh is just the Hebrew name for God, y'all. God, Jesus, same thing. It's just a different name. It's just the Hebrew name for it, right? So I was just like, oh my God, thank Yahweh. I was like, thank Yahweh. And then all of a sudden my dad is in the crowd randomly and he's not crying or anything. He has like this just regular like jovial expression on his face. And he said, wait, Sharifa's really crying? That's what he said. Is that real tears? You're really crying? That's what he said. And then all of a sudden I woke up and from the dream. It was such a weird, odd dream, y'all, that they sent me. And I just felt like I needed to document it because first of all, it's creepy. But second of all, it's just like with these dreams, I don't play. I document everything. So I wanted to document what happened prior to me having the dream. And then I also wanted to document the dream. And I'm sorry if the latter part of the video sounds off, the audio. I know y'all heard what I said. I know y'all heard the noise campaign that started outside of my room. And then I came out here to the living room and the neighbor behind starts doing noise campaign spitefully. And so there's like an echo too in this area of the house by the kitchen and stuff. And I'm kind of moving about. So I do apologize for the noise campaign. But I just wanted to document y'all what happened. It's crazy. That's a crazy dream. And crazy what happened with the technology, with the shadow networking before I had the dream. I wanted to document it. Anyways, y'all, they have the capability to do this, to mess with you with their technology. It's a technological, all-inclusive, comprehensive, psychological warfare program. And I just wanted to document it. Anyway, I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace out.